Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to compare the quality of living in the United States versus the quality of living in Thailand. So you know these two countries couldn't be any different from each other. So this is going to be a wild ride as we go through the different categories and talk about the things that make up a good lifestyle and how they differ from Thailand to the United States, both on the opposite sides of the world. So the first thing we need to go over is cost of living. That's one of the most attractive things about Thailand that everyone loves. And it does bring a lot of people, tourists in general, and expats all to Thailand, is because of the low cost of living. And I will say that the quality of life gets a little bit more brownie points here in Thailand simply because you can actually afford to do more in Thailand. That's fun to do. You can eat out more. You can travel more. If you've got a sport that you enjoy, you can probably do it more because it costs less to do it. Where in the United States, let's say you have a hobby, no matter what it is, more than likely, if you're going to compare the United States to Thailand, the cost for that activity should and probably is a lot more than it is in Thailand, which would prevent some people from doing what they enjoy doing more often simply because it's cost prohibitive in the United States. So I will say in the category of cost of living, we're definitely going to give Thailand the clear winner on this one. But let that be said, it all depends on where you're making your money from. Because if you do decide to come to Thailand to get a Thai job, let's say you're an English teacher and you're looking to come to Thailand to make a Thai wage, a typical Thai wage, just keep in mind that your income is going to be a lot less than your job would be, that same job in the United States, which means you're not going to have as much money here in Thailand, so it may not benefit you too much. Where it does benefit people the most here in Thailand is if, let's say, you're making a retirement or pension from another country, US in this example, and you're able to make that money and you're able to spend it here in Thailand. That's when you're going to see the best cost of living. Or you are, let's say, working online, but your income, no matter if you're still working or you're not working, if your income is coming from your home country, such as the United States, that money will go far here in Thailand. And your quality of living should go up a little bit just because of all the things you can now do. Next thing, when we're talking about quality of life, we got to look at healthcare. So we're comparing the US to Thailand. In the US, yes, they got great health care, blah, blah, blah. However, right, we got to carry all that insurance in order to have those great medical coverages. And I don't know how your doctor's visits work, but I can tell you how mine did. If I needed to go to the dermatologist, I'd try to make an appointment. I'd be lucky to get in 30 days. Sometimes I had to wait 6 months to get my appointment fulfilled in the United States. It wasn't easy to get that great health care, and it's expensive, and you got to have that insurance. All that being said, a lot of the doctors here in Thailand were even trained as medical professionals in foreign countries, including the United States. And they have good medical centers here in Thailand, and it actually is a lot more affordable than the United States. And it all depends on where you go here in Thailand. If you go to some of the more public hospitals, the cost is going to be a lot lower. If you go to some of the private hospitals, it's obviously going to be a little bit more money, but I assure you it's going to be a lot less than the United States. And you can get insurance coverage here in Thailand, which I know for a fact is going to be a lot less than a lot of you can get in the United States. Next subject, education. So education, okay, let's look at the United States. The education system in the United States, a lot of people are going to argue with me and say it's broke, it's just terrible. But if we're looking at the whole world, the United States isn't that bad, okay? We've got good institutions and good schools. So I'm going to give the United States the heads up on this one versus Thailand. Now, I don't have kids that go to school here in Thailand. I've got friends of mine that have kids that go to school here in Thailand. And again, this is going to vary from school to school, depending on the teacher, because it all boils down to the teachers, doesn't it? But as far as the whole system goes, the education system is going to be better in the United States. That being said, I know a lot of people who have kids who do homeschooling and they have online programs from the US and their kids take that and they seem to be very smart young individuals. So don't let that stop you from moving here to Thailand. Next category is safety. Safety in the United States, if this was 20 years ago, I would say it's really good. Nowadays, I'm not as sure, especially watching the news. It just seems to be getting worse. And here in Thailand, I have left my keys in the ignition all day long on my motorcycle. Come back and they're still there. I leave my jacket on the motorcycle out in public places, my motorcycle jacket, my gloves, helmet, you name it. It's always there when I come back. The Thai people as a whole are very honest. Yes, you're gonna have your ones off where there's issues. Every country does. But if we're gonna compare the United States to Thailand, I'm definitely gonna say as far as crime goes, it's gonna be safer here in Thailand. However, still talking about safety. What about everyday safety? Not crime related, you're walking around, accidents, things that happen, you fall in a ditch, whatever. Definitely going to go to the United States. The infrastructure there and the regulations there are very strict. If there's a hole in the road, for the most part, it will be filled, and you're not going to walk down the sidewalk and there'll be a whole sidewalk missing with a 10-foot drop. You're usually going to have cones all around there and lights, and they're going to quickly repair that, where that is not the case here in Thailand. I joke around and say, here in Thailand, safety comes last. And as funny as that is, it's actually true. So as far as day-to-day safety goes, the winner here is going to be the United States. Now, if we're talking about quality of life, what about the people? So the people in the United States are great, and people vary if we're looking at large groups of people depending on what part of the United States you are in or what you're actually used to. But Thailand is known as the land of smiles for the most part, and it kind of depends on where you're at in Thailand as well. Now, I'm not saying the United States isn't warm, smiley, and friendly. Again, it depends on where you go. So the winner here, I'm going to say, is definitely Thailand for, let's just say, the amount of joy you see around you in everyday people. Now we're going to look at environment and climate. Well, in the United States, you know, you can have a desert, you can have the snow, you can have the Everglades down in Florida. I mean, it's all over the place. Here in Thailand, yeah, we don't have as much diversity here in Thailand. But what we do got is really nice. We got some of the best beaches here, some of the most pristine ones on the planet. And we have great wildlife, and we have great mountains and plenty of sights to see. However, so does the United States. So I'm going to say this one's dead even. But if you're already an American and you're looking for something different, and that's why you're watching this video to possibly come to Thailand, you're going to see everything new and everything's going to be exciting because you've already seen everything else in the United States since you probably lived there most of your life, if not all your life. Here in Thailand, take it from another American, every day I wake up and I see new things, new sights, new smells, and it's a wonderful change. And let's look at the pace of daily life. In the United States, and I really didn't know that until I moved away from the United States, the pace of life is very high. In other words, we are all in that rat race that we like to call it, trying to stay ahead of all of our bills and credit cards and everything else. And here in Thailand is more of an atmosphere of just doing what it takes to get by, and I'd rather be more relaxed and comfortable. So they're two opposing lifestyles. And again, which one's going to win out on this one? Well, I'm going to assume everyone would like to be a little bit more relaxed. So we're going to say that the Thailand lifestyle is a little bit more laid back and what we call sabai, comfortable here in Thailand. So as you can see in comparing the United States to Thailand, they're both very different. But if you are looking for a more relaxed style of living and you're looking for a lower cost of living, then you may want to consider Thailand. It's got its bad points, that's for sure. And so does the United States. You've got to weigh it out and figure out which one is going to fit you better. But anyway, I want to thank you all for watching, and if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you feel so inclined, buy us a coffee. We'd really appreciate it. If you are looking to move here to Thailand and you do have some questions and you would like to get with me one-on-one, there is a way you can do that in the Buy Me a Coffee link down below in the description, where you can get on there and schedule a one-on-one video conference call with me, have your questions ready, and we can talk about your move to Thailand. So thank you very much, and I'm going to close this video by saying thank you in Thai, which is Khap Khun Khap.